Alright, I'm not talking about a saint in this video. I'm actually going to talk about a very important organization in Urigen. No, I'm not going to talk about the Holy See, but that one's coming. I'm actually going to talk about the Tinkers Guild. This guild is actually more than a guild, it's more like a giant company. Corporation, if you will. Although it did start as a small guild. A guild in Urigen is more of just a small group of artisans. Someone who might be a blacksmith, or a gunsmith, or perhaps they work in construction. Even book writers and enchanters are different things that can make whole guilds in Urigen. But the Tinkers Guild is very different for the fact that they essentially unionized a lot of that. Starting off small over in Parchia, the French section of Urigen, the Tinkers Guild is actually mainly comprised of construction. And what do I mean by construction? I mean magic users and maybe general construction workers that build cities and castles. And that's actually gigantic because it went from being, like I said, with the whole messaging system, months to years of work, to maybe 2 weeks tops. You see, during the whole portion of Urigen I talked about earlier, where dragons were destroying it, killed, somewhere around 200 million NPCs, flattened and leveled most of Urigen, the Tinkers came in with an opportunity. You see, at first they started off in the beginning of Urigen as, just a small group of guys. But after the whole dragon crash, they rebuilt. Starting off small in the French sector, they actually started building cities really quickly. I mean, 2 weeks and maybe 2 or 3 cities were already built. They were conscripted to make more, and therefore they started bringing in more magic users, perhaps to change their form of magic in order to build more cities. And as they were hired more, that also meant that they were bringing in more. The Tinkers grew to be huge. And it wasn't just the construction worker. Physical artists, blacksmiths, gunsmiths, armors. Artists were actually getting paid a lot to make things like road signs, town signs, imagery for town halls and cities. But this guild got so big, it actually merged with the Eastern Guild in the Ashian continent. Ashi is essentially Asia. And it became so big and influential, it was putting out loans. But the guild itself would find whatever you needed. Maybe you needed an enchanter to make weapons for you. Particularly staves that could make explosions. Canonist staves, if you will. Or maybe you just needed a good set of armor. Most armorers were in line with Velad, so no question they could make you something good. The guild would find your way there. And they rebuilt Urigen. But underneath it all, there's, of course, a lot of corruption and a lot of story to be told about there. Subscribe for more.